And guys, I swallowed my water a little bit because I took a swig before I started this. But what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I'm back up here live for the next hour and a half, I'd say. I'm going to be doing 3 reviews, of course. Well, 2 reviews, 1 pre-predictions video. As we are live, sorry, this is a little distracting. It's part of my equipment for my gig on Saturday. I saw it in the corner, it was bugging me. But anyways, we are live for my live review of this week's episode of NXT UK from the May 29th, 2019 edition that took place once again at the Braehead Arena in Glasgow, Scotland. We are 1 week away from the fatal 4-way that will determine the next #1 contender for Walter of the newest stable in NXT UK. We'll talk about that in just a second. Next week was the fatal 4-way, but this week on NXT UK, not a bad show. There was a couple little things that I was a little nah about, or like this new stable. I like it, but at the same time, something about it bothers me. Well, 2 things about bother me that I mentioned was in my turn alert for Walter last week. It's not that it's the worst thing in the world, but to me, it's like, okay, but what about this and whatnot? But it at least involves 2 people that I am kind of high on, and see. I want to see them get a big push for sure down the line. So we'll get into that and talk about that in this review. So no, I say a good show this week. Wasn't great, wasn't decent. I say it was a good show this week for the UK brand. What's up, Tyler? Thank you for joining me live once again here. So we're going to open up, of course, talking about, of course, we got a recap of what happened last week in the main event, what was said to be the biggest main event on NXT UK TV history, which was the rematch between Walter and Pete Dunne for the United Kingdom Championship. As you know, for those who don't remember, last week Walter retained following some outside interference from Fabian Eichner and Marcel Barthel. They seem to have, kind of acknowledged each other when it got into the ring. They both posed above Pete Dunne. So obviously, these team turned into a stable, which of course was revealed tonight that yes, it's true, and they have a name for them, which I didn't get to look up what the name means. I wanted to do that. 1 second. Oh, okay. Never mind. That makes sense now. All right. So anyway, so the show opens up with Walter, Barthel, and Eichner coming out to the ring. The fans are chanting, "We want Dunne." And of course, as Barthel goes to, talking through the microphone, everybody kept booing him, so he kept resisting. Of course, Barthel, actually, his facial expressions were just still priceless throughout this all. But then he started by saying, "We are here to lead you to a better NXT UK. We are here to raise our flag and restore the honor and professionalism of our sport. We are the ones to lead, and we are the ones who hold true power." Eichner continued to saying that Pete Dunne can only get you so far. British Strong Style, though, has expired because none of them have the ability to lead NXT UK in the right direction. Now, the responsibility lays in our hands. Walter then takes the microphone and concludes by saying, "To us, this mat is sacred," which Eichner and Barthel have been using that catchphrase, I guess now since they're together. Walter is. And he says, "And from this day forth, we shall be known as Imperium," which I just looked up means absolute power. Okay, interesting name. A lot more creative than, some of the stuff that main roster comes up, we all know, but we're not going to talk about the main roster. And you can continue, but until Pete Dunne's music interrupts. Dunne walks out, backed up by Mustache Mountains, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate. British Strong Style and Imperium then get into the ring, and they start brawling with each other. And eventually, though, I'm not sure if this was on purpose, this was an accident. I think it was, I can't remember who it was, because it was not Dunne and Walter. It was either Barth. I think it might have been Eichner and Bate. I think because I think they were in that corner. But they crashed into a cameraman, and it took out the feed. So again, I don't know if that was done on purpose or if that was an accident, because it kind of was a little weird thing how it ended it. So what? Of course, later in commercial break, well, after the commercial break, it was made known by Johnny Sane, Sid Scala, that that in 2 weeks we're going to get a 6-man tag team match between British Strong Style and the new stable Imperium, which once again is fine with me. But again, the two problems I have with this Imperium stable. I mean, again, I do like that it's going to be leading to bigger things for Eichner and Barthel, because I really like that team. I really think they should be tag team champions someday. But one, again, my thing is, does Walter really need a stable right now? Like, I feel like, Walter again should have. I mean, yes, Pete Dunne, obviously with 685 days, he's a megastar in UK. But until Walter really has like that, as champion, Walter should be that guy that if you want to make me heel, yes, but have him be with someone who just dominates for a long time, and then once he starts feeling that his championship run is in jeopardy, then maybe form the stable, in my opinion. Because I feel it's too soon to give Walter a stable. Because again, to me, Walter looks like the British Brock Lesnar. Like, he's as big as Brock Lesnar, in my opinion. I mean, he may not, look as, look like it, but he is as big as Brock Lesnar. He's like 6'4", almost 300 pounds. Brock's like 6'3", 285 or something like that. Like, not much of a difference at all. But it's that. And then again, my other problem is, again, is this exactly what Gallus wants to do also? Like, Gallus was that first heel stable formed. And now, like, what are they doing now? I guess that those two things kind of, tie in. I mean, I'm not against this stable, but those two little things kind of just itch at me a little bit. Again, the fact that does Walter really need a stable yet? And two, why are they pretty much almost carbon copying Gallus, I feel, with this stable? I mean, different name, absolute power, but once again, Gallus wants to make this their kingdom, if you know what I mean. But we have some random match. Speaking of Gallus, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang taking on Team White Wolf, A-Kid and Carlos Romo. And Mark Coffey and Wolfgang win like 3.5 minutes, and I'm just like, okay, why are they doing this? Like, what's the point of this really for these guys? I don't know. I don't know, just to get them on the show because they're from Scotland and whatnot. Get the crowd a pop, I guess. But at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, like why? Like, if they're not gonna be in a tag title picture, obviously, well, since Walter is a heel, I don't know. I don't see them giving Joe Coffey that title opportunity next week in the Fatal 4-Way. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Then backstage, we see Xia Brooks. I've been interviewed asking about what happened recently in her match with Killer Kelly when Jenny came out and introduced Jazzy Gabbert, who just attacked her, and Killer Kelly didn't help at all. But then Isla Dawn walked up and basically said, she's had her recent issues with Jenny also. So she said, I think one time we did team up and we worked pretty well together. So why don't we do it again to take out Jenny and Jazzy Gabbert, basically. So, okay. We get a backstage promo with Joseph Connors, kind of promo challenging Ilja Dragunov for a future match, which once again, he's basically just doing the same thing that Cassius Ohno was doing. Well, Ohno was doing at NXT, and on NXT UK, he's kind of doing the same thing. So he's trying to teach the real way to do, more international wrestling and whatnot. So whatever, I don't really care that much for Joseph Connors to begin with. We also get a recap of the qualifying matches, and of course, hyping up who's all going to be in the Fatal 4-Way match next week. In the winner, of course, will go on to eventually face Walter. And again, the 4 men are Joe Coffey, Jordan Devlin, Dave Mastiff, and Travis Banks. And then the next match we had was kind of interesting. Cassius Ohno taking on Gentleman Jack Gallagher. Of course, as I keep saying, I want to see Gallagher. I know he's starting to, again, he had a really good match last night in 205 Live, but I also wanted to see him, kind of get some time at NXT UK also. So I do think he will fit that brand. So this match happens, and I like how it's kind of a mix of, Ohno, the bigger hard hitter, but Gallagher, who's a smaller guy, as they've been shown in 205 Live lately, still displays some power and a hard hitting style. Of course, there was a point in the match, of course, where He was busted open like right underneath the nose, so that kind of sucked. He bleed a little bit over the hard-hitting match. He had a little bit of blood, kind of made us a little bit cooler. Although the match ended on an interesting note. Kind of feel like, okay, I guess they're going to be, keeping Gallagher around, a little bit longer with this feud with Ono. But at the end of the match, Ono goes to pin Gallagher, pulls him back a little bit. But of course, as I always say, what pisses me off is when wrestlers, pin them, pin a wrestler, and they have like they don't pin the leg that's closest to the ropes. Like they're really like handing them that chance to literally reach for the ropes. But Gallagher's foot was underneath the ropes, and the referee missed it. So it was not a bad hard-hitting match, but I just wonder if this is really turning into like a longer-term feud or something, and if Gallagher's going to be doing a little bit more in the UK than we expected. So we'll see what happens with that. We have a backstage interview with Piper Niven. Asked about Rhea Ripley, saying that Niven can't stop talking about her, but then Piper says she came here to fight and not to talk. So if Rhea wants to rip off, fight, then she's up for it. Which again, as I'm saying, I feel like Piper Niven's had enough, enhancement exhibition squash matches, if you know what I mean. I think it's time we finally had the match with Piper Niven and Rhea Ripley. So probably the next set of tapings, hopefully that match will happen. I keep saying that, but it's getting delayed and delayed and delayed. So next set of tapings, do the match. She's ready. And then finally, we have our main event. It's our NXT UK Women's Championship match. Toni Storm taking on Nina Samuels, and Toni Storm wins at Hannah Storm 0. Again, not a bad match. And the thing that still bothers me is I feel like, someone like Nina Samuels, which, she's gotten better. I mean, when UK first debuted, I thought that she was going to be just one of those talents who just takes the pins. She developed this character of, being this, movie star caliber type person. And again, I still feel that, again, Toni getting a rematch with Rhea was fine. I still feel Nina should have had, this chance first before Jinny. I mean, I get that, Jinny was building up victories, but Jinny was someone, again, I feel like, could be like a bigger challenge for Toni more down the line as champion, not her first challenger after, the person who she dethroned. So I feel I could appreciate this match a little bit better if it was done before the match with Jinny, because I thought Toni Storm and Jinny have great chemistry together, sure. And of course there is a history between them, from other approaches as well. I feel like this match could have been a little more appreciated if they would have had it first before the match with Jinny. But yeah, that is it. Again, next week is the number one contenders match for the NXT for the number one contendership for the championship. Let's see here. Screw wildcard roll. Are you going to do the best and worst match types and heel and face turns? Yeah, I'm going to do those at some point. Triple H will be in charge, and yeah, I know AJ, you think AJ in charge should have won the mixed match challenge season 2. But yeah, I give NXT UK a B this week. Again, some stuff I know I kind of like nitpicked at a little bit, but it was still a good show. I felt not like the biggest deals in the world to me with some of this stuff, but we'll see where Imperium goes, and we'll see now who's next to challenge Toni Storm for the Women's Championship now that she's defeated Nina Samuels. So, guys, once again, what are your thoughts on NXT UK this week? I gave it a B. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. If there's always a slap a like in my videos, subscribe more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAir93. Also, check out my WrestleMania Experience documentary found in the description box down below. And of course, I will be back up here again just a couple minutes, taking a quick break, and I'll do my NXT live reviews. That's the second of 3 live streams I'm doing within the next hour and a half and whatnot. So next was NXT live review. Following that will be my NXT TakeOver 25 preview and predictions video. So until then, guys, I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Peace out, everybody.